Deckard Cain lies, because I think this is one of Deckard's best maps. He will get chosen by Gen.G immediately, like that was the only thing that was not a question for them. And I'm a little bit surprised that Feliz prioritizes the Hanzo over it, because Deckard is the most valuable support right now, which is, again, further why it was surprising to see Malfurion on the previous set. I mean, they had a Garrosh in their composition, they still chose the Malfurion.
It's not out of... It's not a total surprise, where Witch did play a lot of Hanzo on this map, actually going for the other talent, killing the minion, instant minion, and then getting the extra range. Because you do have to fight for a long time. But it's not as common as Raynor, though. Raynor is a lot higher in tier in general, I would say. And Deckard also.
So, June, the North American player, is one of the only people that will run Alexstrasza on this map in the world. And we saw Alexstrasza played by Miracle just this Friday on, not Infernal Shrines, not this map, but on Sky Temple. And this is becoming a more popular thing, as we'll see the Li Ming Man. I actually am starting to like this hero pick. If you can play well around it, you fight over a zone, right? This map is one of those maps where the objective is fixed. It's on a longer, it takes a longer time to complete it. It's not a channel. So I like the Alexstrasza pick here. Let's see how it's utilized. I feel less bad about them giving Deckard Cain away, as long as this plan comes to fruition.
They have a plan, and Gen.G, though, they have a good counter. Whenever the Dragon Queen pops up, unless it's a really heated up teamfight situation, they just back off. And they make it seem very easy. They keep cool, they just back off, and the Dragon Queen is off, they re-engage.
And it's very easy to do that when you have item control, especially the healing pulses you were talking about earlier. That's something that Tempo Storm, which is, again, North America is the region that played this map the most, and they forced it on Gen.G a lot at Mid-Season Brawl. It was a long time ago now, but North America showed the rest of the world that item control is how this map is played. Gen.G has learned that, and that is one way to play around the Alexstrasza for sure.
Okay, Feliz banned Murden, and they actually forced this Diablo to come out. And I feel like this was in a plan. They have to have some pick that's going to do % damage or a big counter against Diablo.
You think something like a Tychus or Falstad, maybe?
I think Tychus was buffed on this patch just by a little. Kel'Thuzad! Okay. And % damage, Leoric, okay. So overall, they are making the second ban pick. I was wondering why Murden? They actually forced this Diablo pick. That's a nice way of drafting.
This is one of those drafts that I think a lot of people would look at it and say, well, they're going to try something cute here because it's Gen.G and they can't win. But this is actually a draft that I feel like is well thought out.
Yeah, Alarak!
Okay, Alarak actually makes a lot of sense versus Kel'Thuzad. You think about the silence, as well as Kel'Thuzad's inability to escape. And also Counter-Strike is very powerful against Alexstrasza because you know where everyone is going to be. You can preemptively Counter-Strike a zone and blow everyone up before the healing completes, for example. So this draft looks really weird, but I think both teams made smart choices here. If I compare this draft to the draft we saw from Gluck yesterday, that obviously, you know, was out of control. This is a totally brilliant draft.
Hey boy! Hey dude! You're on camera. Welcome to HGC, welcome to VSL, but this game is on Firewall. Full Skya, first of all, and we have Alexstrasza and Kel'Thuzad. Okay, on this patch, Kel'Thuzad cannot change the structure anymore, so a lot of people has been disappointed that that was one of his cool things to do, actually. But and less damage overall, but less cooldowns on the skills. So if you can actually fight for a longer time, so to say.
And one of the other big changes to Kel'Thuzad is that his portrait is no longer scrunched as well.
Yes. Yes. That's the biggest change, right?
So I just wanted everyone to notice that because it's really important. So he is going to go for the Plague Lands here. And that's going to be...
Yeah, it's now usually the Q build after the rework.
Yeah,
not rework, but changes.
It's somewhat of a rework, but yeah, it's gonna of course increase the radius of death and decay eventually, and it'll be very powerful against a comp like this that Gen.G is running.
And yeah, against Alarak, you really do have to wait. Yeah, for that cooldown, basically, you wait until the skill is used, or just do not get close to him because Rich will grab you and kill you.
This is all about positioning, as most mage based play has been forever and will be forever, no matter what MOBA you're talking about. Quick 4-man rotations here on both sides. And what's interesting about this is Hanaten has actually come up to the mid lane for a moment here. They really wanted to control that zone. Of course, he is going to head back down bottom just to clear the way. Does not lose any minions. You can see it on the minimap. And Feliz is threatening Gen.G a lot, even against Diablo. Oh, this is the first positional mistake, though. And that's the end of Aimer, man. That's all it takes is one positional mistake, and you're done.
That's where actually Tisk loves to hide. He did that against Tempest, he did that against Ballistics. That has been the position. Even with Johanna, he just comes out with the condemn and grabs everyone. Small mistake, but it actually cost them big time. And this actually snowballed really big. We knew that Gen.G was going to take it before 2 minutes. I told you guys before the game. They already took it easy with a kill. So next control point, how are they actually going to find themselves?
It's rough, you know, and you pointed out the positioning from the beginning of the game, but this was a situation where Blaze had just shoved bottom, so could actually be nearby in the mid lane while soaking to hit this. And if it fails, you know, he might lose a minion or two, but probably not given the lane situation. So, bam, Tist hits that. That was the twist, as Tist is able to hit that. And then they get two things. They get a kill, they get control of the map, but they also get that healing, you know, pulse. And now this is their point to lose, like you were saying. And Feliz is going to have to approach this a little bit more carefully with Kel'Thuzad.
It's harder to get the one combo. Everything up to Aimer. I feel he has to really chain the back line and do a lot of damage. Getting a kill, that's the best. But even if you just take out the HP, force them to go to the fountain, force them to be out of the zone where they can't do damage, basically. And skill shots hard, they can make it work.
Just trying to get some stacks here. Aimer needs to back away. They are delaying this quite a bit, but they're not gaining anything from the delay right now. Rich comes in for the flank. Aimer wants to just grab another stack on him. No, not out of range. Kyocha misses that skill shot.
I think Rich used telekinesis to actually not let that connect, which was a cool thing.
Yeah. Well, you can see the power of Alexstrasza here fighting over one small zone. Rich is actually getting out-traded here. This Leoric pick is working wonders. It's actually going to help turn this around for Feliz potentially here. If Rich keeps getting hit by these, he gets hit by another one. Okay, scatter arrow build does complete.
They're getting rooted, but it's a Garrosh, and he does have a lot of armor, but no one really getting the control point, and Gen.G just forces them out with all the poke they have.
And they didn't use the healing pulse either. It was just not required. It's surprising to me to see that we didn't really see Aimer toss down that many skill shots in the control point itself, where perhaps Kel'Thuzad would have been his strongest, you know, just tossing down the burn over time.
Yeah, he was just chaining a lot because you do want to get a stack up for your trait and get that late game power. And he wasn't really throwing in skills because Rich was also saving a lot of his skills, just in case. I think they are both holding in, just knowing what's going to happen if they just toss it out and just miss it the entire time.
Well, when Phylactery completes, he will have a buyback. It's very similar to how Diablo operates, where you're going to have a huge bonus when you don't use it, but obviously you have the ability to throw away spell power to return. So that can allow Aimer to be a little bit more aggressive.
99% Dragon Queen, so they want to take this one back.
Yeah, they will get it too.
And look at that, Gen.G just falls back because they have so much time to work with.
Yeah.
99% takes a long time, and they just take it back for a second.
This is exactly how control maps work in Overwatch. You give it up at 99%, then you take ultimates, basically reset for a fight. In this case, it's experience. Just eating a lot of damage, but he still has that healing pulse. Ooh, this does not end up being a very good heal. This is a big problem for Feliz. And that's going to be a double.
Yeah, even with the healing pulse, there's no way of losing in that zone where you have all the CC as well, OJ. Okay, it does end up surviving, so that's at least good news, but they were going to lose it. And at least they drew out all the items, I would say. That's one of the better news they can actually have.
And this is just completely going to be a dead fort. I mean, it's very easy to just shove this forward now and get 10 first. Meanwhile, Blaze was soaking top. Now he's soaking bottom. So as you can see, right now, they're sending Hanzo top to help clean that up. Sort of soak, try to catch up to 10, but Gen.G has full control. They still hold the healing pulse. And there's another one available. They may just take it right after this and hold on to 2 healing pulses then.
Getting some synergy with all those skills from the Protector as well. They hit 10 now. So Feliz, even OJ has to somewhat be careful staying around the fort. At least they're soaking from the other lanes. Blaze, of course, doing the job. Just put 1 person instead of 2.
They're actually doing a ton of damage with this. It's canceled here so they can get out. And they did a ton of hero damage. They could take the second healing pulse. Leoric split pushing just to get 10. Hanzo taking this tiny opportunity to grab turret. I mean, that's all they can do.
Yeah, with these items in Volskaya, it actually feels like you're playing somewhat of a chess. The opponent is always ahead. You make some surprising move, but you take turns using the item. And Feliz there already losing. It seems like they lost the queen at 1 minute into the game.
Yeah.
Down by 9 points.
It's almost like Gen.G has a second queen from a pawn. Here's
Oh,
a
nice arrow
into the entomb. Big damage coming out from Kel'Thuzad here. Sake tossed in. The Lornado is out, but it's not going to save him. And this actually might be their first 1 team fight of this series.
They get 1 down, but the rest of the members are so low there onto the chase. Hansen's trying to save the damage, but Gen.G is not going to go any in. They actually had the healing pulse and didn't use it, surprisingly. I think with that, Sake could have survived, and they could have pushed it even further. Maybe he just didn't see the best timing to actually drop it. Sometimes you actually forget during the fight that you are holding onto one.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only map where items are really relevant. I mean, I guess Hanamura is back.
Warhead Junction.
Yeah. But, you know, look, Tis still has the healing pulse. The Fissure came in. I mean, it was really well executed, the fight there. Arrow into Entomb, into the Fissure is just a ton of damage.
Yep.
As much as Deckard Cain loves his 10 armor, he's not getting out of that one.
But at least they got the kill. They focused every single thing onto Sake, and it was actually weak. Okay. Caught Entomb by himself. That was a weird one.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. I'll be honest with you. But
Just
usually I don't miss those on the minimap, but this one I just didn't catch it. I was looking at the Kel'Thuzad build, and anyways, it's gonna be another wall here for Gen.G. All it takes is 1 pick. You're up to 13. You have healing pulse. So I mean, at this point, Feliz is just gonna have to hope for another big team fight win, because Gen.G has the healing pulse and should, in theory, actually have 2. But if they have even just the 1, that's kind of one of the things you can counteract the sustainability from Alexstrasza with. And the idea here with Feliz's comp is to slowly trade up with heals with Alexstrasza and then burst everybody down with big fissures. Just way easier said than done.
good target on Ridge. Soaking up with all the healing from Deckard only. So that big combo, it's actually gone, and they're on the cooldown. And look at that, except for Fidget, which comes back very soon. Everything is on cooldown. Gen.G has the Counter-Strike and the Lightning Breath. Look at that second one.
Yeah. I mean, Lornado's also on an insanely short cooldown, so Gen.G's going to get that third healing pulse of the game. Scout out, but I mean, Shadow Fissure is great for finishing off targets, but being like, aha, I know you're taking this isn't really going to phase anybody on the side of Gen.G here.
It's great for killing Avatar, but
it's very good at 20, because at 20 you have it forever, basically. And Volskaya is a game that goes late most of the time. And this game certainly could go late. It's looking less and less likely by the second, but you know, it gave them some extra information. They knew they were there, but they confirmed how many were there. Feliz is going to have to set up another Entomb combo here with the Arrow. Arrow's up at 5. And that's all they've really got.
They tried it a few times, and they couldn't even grab kill onto reset, socket, and that's without the healing pulse. Just healing from Deckard and some peel, and they even have bunker for themselves. So a lot of those skill shots, burst damage that Feliz is looking for, they need to do it in an instant before the bunker drops, before anything else actually drops onto the ground to save him.
And Kyocha, he knows he's always with the squishies. Only Diablo is away from him, and that's because he's controlling this control point.
99. OG's alone. No item for Feliz.
Yep, no items whatsoever. No damage onto Gen.G. Healing Pulse just may never have to be used. Overtime ticks down. And that's going to be the second big...
Trigger Love Protector.
Protector, yes. I was struggling to remember what that was called for a moment.
Because I think this was a better choice. Rather than to engage and lose everyone and give the Protector. Because they, of course, are not holding it onto anything. No turret, no healing pulse. They just have to defend this one over time. Keeping the keep will be the best option now. And I'm thinking optimistically.
Yeah, you're being very optimistic at this point. Do you see the heals coming through? OJ's armor going to help protect him against that grip shot coming out. But this is going to be a dead keep, it looks like. Just too much damage. Protector's still got a ton of ammo. And they can't hard engage. Even though they have the arrow, the bunker just makes it so difficult to actually execute anything. Gen.G's got 16 now, and they're going to get a second keep wall.
Yes.
Potentially a second keep, but that's, you know, that's reaching a bit. Quest finally done here for Kel'Thuzad at 12.5 minutes. So getting those stacks completed is one of the most important parts of Kel'Thuzad's kit. So now he's a real hero. He is. I mean,
he does a lot.
He's like a semi-hero. Now he's a real hero.
At the same time, I am afraid that they have a big level gap, which is going to reduce down the damage. But they need to start with this. Take the turret. OG, you can. He just pushes him out. We can't even stay. And oh, good damage from Fissure. Nice connect with the Entomb, but the bunker does a lot more for you.
Yep. And that's going to be 2 dead. And it's going to be a catch here onto Aimer. He's pulled in with telekinesis. That's the 3rd to go down. And that means Shiklev Gen.G is going to take out this keep, and they will very likely...
Good call, yes.
Yeah, they have a healing pulse.
And the turret. They have all 5 members.
Arrow is up. Maybe with an Entomb, they could set something
because
up.
They could have just went core already. The top one's open.
Everyone respawned. They have the healing pulse, but instead of getting core, what's better than holding a healing pulse all game and getting core is getting another healing pulse.
They want to make it fair and give an item to everyone. They're missing 2. They get this one, the turret at the bottom left. Then they can go core.
Yeah.
That's a strategy.
You know, I get the feeling that that is where they're headed. Item control, super important. Catapults will deflect the pressure coming out from the, I guess you can call it a siege camp. What are those things actually called? I don't know. Things that look like StarCraft Goliaths but aren't. The siege camps that are like, you know, I don't know what they're called.
The top lane camps?
Yeah. I don't know what they're actually called.
The Volskaya robots.
Yeah, the Volskaya robots will be mitigated by...
Oh, that's...
Oh, no.
That's a cooldown onto your jump. Dudu. Gone.
Wait, Dudu, was he there? I didn't see him.
Yeah, Dudu was caught. Great into with the para, but no less damage. The combo was already used.
And the Lornado is insane. Healing Pulse finally actually comes out and makes an impact in this fight. Well, I don't know if it really did, but it makes it harder for Feliz. OJ's dead. And this time, I think they really will go core, but maybe they want their tournament accounts to have more experience. So they're going to go bottom.
Yes.
To get 20. And maybe they'll get, like, their master skin. Oh, no, that's existing. But, you know, for Rich, he's played a little bit of All-Around. He's probably getting close to, like, level 6 or 7 in his pro account. He's played that hero a little bit.
Yeah, level 20, destroy everything, and then make them tap. I think that's what they're looking for. They have everything else. They use.
Arrow does not connect. That's massive.
They bring
Healing Pulse.
The Dragon Queen gets Counter Strike. Kyoto finishes off.
Reset's just doing so much free damage. It's insane. Bolt, goodbye. Telekinesis, goodbye. Core, see you later. We're going to game 3 with a Gen.G 2-0 lead. Full item control on the map. And 2 for 2. Feliz tries something a little bit different. In game 1, it was the Zeratul. In game 2, it was the forced Diablo into Kel'Thuzad, but it does not work.
Really cool game though. Gen.G just holding control the entire time. They picked the map. They knew exactly when and where to hide. The snowball that started at 146. That healing pulse when they picked off Kel'Thuzad. That was I can't say that was game ending, but that was a big snowball to start up with.
Yeah.
Feliz has no way of coming back post level 10.
It did start the snowball rolling, that is for sure. Let's take a look at damage here. Aimer tops damage in the game, as most mages will, given their, especially a lot of burst damage. But what I want to talk about is how he was never able to get a single kill.
He got one.
He did, well, he didn't get.
Oh yeah, yes.
But like he got the 1 assist, right? Everyone got that except Dudu somehow. But Aimer did tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of damage with Shadow Fissure every time they attempted these combos, every time the Entombs came down. But it did like, I don't know, 8% damage to everybody, and then Gen.G ignored it and moved on. I don't think that in this particular draft that Kel'Thuzad is... He did not do what they set him out to do. He was not able to find the setups, find the damage, find the CC because the positioning of Gen.G was too good. He made that one mistake where he got caught by Tist, but like that happens. I don't feel like he played Kel'Thuzad poorly, but I just don't think the way that they wanted to set up these fights with the Arrow and Tomb worked out the way that he saw it working in his mind.
Yeah, they tried to combo all that, but if it was the old Kel'Thuzad, it could have worked better with more damage. I think with a lot more chain. Of course with a different build, not the Q build this time. But with the Q build, you end up using the skill shots, not just to combo to finish off the kill, but you just throw out the skills like Neeming. You try to poke them out, like kind of like Junkrat, how Junkrat does. A lot of Qs, you try to get all the damage in, but when you have Deckard on the other side, you can't just outdo the damage.
Yeah, he's trying to be a sustain mage instead of a burst mage, and it doesn't work against Deckard, doesn't work against Healing Pulse, doesn't work against Diablo, who has a huge health pool. Lyric tried his best to eat into that, but it didn't work out in the end. So Gen.G picked this map, played it well, threw a curveball, because I don't think anyone expected Gen.G to pick Volskaya of all teams. Already kind of wrenches have been thrown into the gears of Feliz. I think they prepared really well for today. I think we're going to see one more good map out of them. I don't know where that's going to be. But it will be Gen.G's choice. Not yet, G-Clef. I haven't been able to play New Hanamura yet. I have not hit it yet, and I've been looking for a long time. But we are going to take a short break, guys. When we come back, we'll find out if Feliz can finally turn things around.
없어요. 우린 돌아올 수 없을 거예요.
하지만 함께 공격하면 우리 희망을 되찾을 수 있어.
안 그래? 그래 안 그래?
네. 볼스타트 뒤로 열심히 걸어와 벽으로 밀고 오웨이 스타 잘 들어갔는데 자 그래도 벙커 때문에 한 번 더 봐야 되긴 해요. 상대방을 좀 흔들어 보기도 하는데
그 그림이에요. 속박에만 들어가고 상대방의 광활 덩어리가 빠져있기 때문에
미간의 뿌리
정확히 자 그리고 지금 브라질 쪽에 포커싱이 안 됐기 때문에 자 이거는 이 싸움이 일단 유리한 거 슈퍼로버가 맞습니다.
자 그래서 평원 버티
알짜
완벽한 타이밍.
와
그래서 설마 훌리원 선수 궁각 재고 있는 것 같거든요. 팀원들 오기까지 시간은 걸리는데 휘감는 볼이 연계되고 거기에 대단까지 아름다운 연계가 오, 이거 궁극기 활용하는 거죠.
기다렸다가
이렇게 되면 야, 벽지에서부터 흘렸어요. 소냐. 진짜 궁극기 각이 너무 이쁘게 들어갔습니다. 예.
Welcome back to another episode of the so-called HGC Minute. I'm your host, Lana Bashinsky. Let's do this. In the aftermath of the second Western Clash, many of us wondered whether Leftovers' arrival on the scene was just a fluke. But with a win over Monkey Menagerie and a close 2-3 series loss against Method, it looks like the Leftovers might be here to stay. Additionally, Roll20 Esports, formerly the Zealots, had a rough start against Fnatic, who beat them 3-0. Team Liquid, despite a rocky performance at the Western Clash, looks very strong, beating Granite Gaming 3-0. With the Crucible coming up, now is the time to be watching the Open Division. ePunk's Black continues to dominate, having just won their 5th cup out of the 6 tournaments in Phase 2. After a disappointing run at the second Western Clash, Tempo Storm sent out a reminder that they still have what it takes. Tempo handed Heroes Heart their first loss in a 3-2 series in HGC North America's Phase 2. Heroes Heart still remains number 1 though, having taken Endemic down 3-0 earlier in the weekend. Simplicity, who won only a single series in Part 1 of Phase 2, scored not 1